Welcome to the Bourbon Experience. My name is Austin. Today I'm drinking Old Charter French Oak and Old Charter Spanish Oak. I'm super excited for today's review. I've been wanting to review Old Charter French Oak for a good while now, and actually had planned on doing it maybe within the last couple weeks. But fortunately for me, I was able to come across this year's Old Charter French Oak, as well as this year's Old Charter Spanish Oak. I have a Old Charter French Oak from a few years ago, and that's when I was going to review, but this was just perfect timing because now I get to do this year's. So while I crack this open, I'll kind of talk about it. Old Charter is a line from Buffalo Trace, and they use different oak that they age their barrels in. Now, these aren't finished whiskeys, as in it's a traditional Kentucky bourbon and then gets put into a secondary barrel. This is all aged in French oak, and the qualifying terms of bourbon just says aged in an oak container. It doesn't even say barrel, it says aged in an oak container. So using French oak still constitutes it as bourbon, and it's not a finished bourbon at that. I'll just get into this part real quick. It says, this Old Charter Oak story. In 1874, Adam and Ben Chappies created the now famous Old Charter whiskey brand, named in honor of arguably the most well-known white oak tree in America. Old Charter Oak symbolizes pivotal role that oak barrels play. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Aged Buffalo Trace, rich and sweet, drawing its character from barrels made of French oak, an oak that has long been used for aging the world's finest wine. The tighter grain of French oak imparts more subtle flavors and a silkier texture than its American counterpart. Harvested from the forests of France, this oak was seasoned outdoors before the wood was made into barrels that aged unique whiskey that honors its French origin. So basically, tighter grain than American oak, with providing a silkier texture, supposedly, than its American counterpart. These bottles are pretty cool. It's got the nice little wood patch on it. That's got the oak in there, or the oak tree, and then has some guy rolling a barrel. So they're kind of cool. So let me get into this one. I believe this is all mash bill 1. I've had older stuff that reminds me of just straight grape candy. I will say this is 92 proof, so it's a lower proof it's a slightly higher proof than Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare, but I mean, that's negligible. It's a very small amount. Ooh, that smells really good. So that French oak, if you've ever had anything that's finished in French oak, or have ever had any other French oak offerings, it has, I don't even know how to properly describe it, but it's not funky or musty, but there's just this almost like a maple syrup type of thing. There's like a wood note, and as I'm swirling it, that grape from Buffalo Trace is starting to pop up too, which is nice. I think some of the Maker's Mark wood finishing series that have the French oak kind of have like a similar characteristic in here. Not to say that this smells like Maker's Mark 46 or any of the wood finishing stuff, but just that oak presence is there. Kind of like a dry wood, maybe a little bit smoky, a little bit vanilla, a little bit maple syrup, and that grape a little bit. I'll get into the taste. Interesting. So this is more drying right off the bat than what I remember the previous whatever year it was that I had. Maybe it needs to just open up. Yeah, it's almost like Maker's Mark wood finishing meets Buffalo Trace, or Buffalo Trace mash bill 1 meets some kind of like maple syrup thing. The grape is in there, but it's pretty subdued. Yeah, it's a little bit drying, a little bit maple syrupy, a little bit grape. On the nose, it's getting to a little bit perfumey. This is pretty different than what I remember from the other ones. The other ones I had were just straight grape candy, maybe Nerds, something like that. Lower proof, easy sipping, just super enjoyable. This is definitely more complex, has a little bit more barrel spice to it. It's a little bit more drying. It's a little bit more full in flavor. It has a little bit more of that spice, but man, going into this, I was expecting this really nice, just pleasant, easy, low proof grape candy treat, and I'm getting a more rich, robust, full flavored product, which arguably could be better overall, but it's just not what I was expecting. So that's kind of taking me for a trip here. So let me get into the Spanish oak. It says all the same stuff, blah, 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 blah. Aged to Buffalo Trace, blah, blah, blah. Spanish oak, long used for aging the world's finest sherries. Spanish oak is less dense and possesses a tighter grain than its American sibling, imbuing the whiskey with flavors of rich vanilla, dark stone fruit, and a finish of toasted nuts and baking spice. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll say the color certainly seems darker on the Spanish than the French. Yeah, I mean, this is real dark. Also 92 proof. Oh wow. Okay, that one smells. Just right off the bat, I prefer the nose on the Spanish. I've never had the Spanish oak before, any year. So it's dark, chocolate, maybe like some coffee bean. The toasted, what did it say? The toasted nuts, like, really is in there too. That was a good note. Good on you, Buffalo Trace. And then yeah, the vanilla, baking spices. That label's pretty accurate. I'll give them that. Sometimes these distilleries come out with just wild tasting notes that who knows where they came from, but that's spot on so far. Oh yeah, completely different. This is rich, viscous, not drying. The barrel spice or spice levels lower. This almost drinks pretty syrupy, especially at 92 proof. That's really good. I would almost compare this to like a double oaked product. Not that this is finished, but almost has like that chocolate coffee thing. French oak goes for about $225 on secondary. Spanish maybe $250. There is some maple syrup in this too. Yeah, I'll just do a quick back to back. So the French oak, I'd say, is lighter. Yeah, lighter. That tannic thing's there. A little bit of the grape. And then this is just rich and dense. Yeah, of the two, I prefer the Spanish. The French oak, I'm gonna have to give it some more time to open up because I want it to come around like it did to the previous years that I've had. And who knows, maybe I'll have to open up a previous year and compare it to this one to see if it's changed. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, who knows. But please like this video, comment, tell me what of the old charters are your favorite, or which one you want to try, or which one you think would be your favorite. And subscribe to the channel. Trying to grow the channel. I do a lot of giveaways. If you're subscribed and stay up to date, you'll see that I've given away Maker's Mark Cellar Aged with a SE4 PR5. I've given away a Weller Flight, which included CYPB. I have a Thomas H. Handy Flight, or a sample of the 22 and 23, which I believe was coming out. It came out on Sunday, and that will close on this Saturday. I don't know the date of that, but this coming Saturday, so in a few days from now, the entry for that will be closed. So make sure you check out my Sunday's Thomas H. Handy video for a chance to win a couple samples out of that. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave this for now. As always, the bourbon experience is all about good pours and great times with whoever you're with. Whiskey's meant to be enjoyed, so crack those bottles. Cheers.